Well, back guys, GTS Garage. Apologies, I've not put anything up for a while, but genuinely I've had nothing to put up. As many of us are in this country, in the UK, we are in lockdown tier 4. So I think the only thing that's really happened between one lockdown and another lockdown is the wife and I did the North Coast 500, which was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely loved it. If you haven't done it, I would do it. I would choose your time of year so it's not too miserable weather-wise or with the midges. And that's a very small window, granted, but you can do it. It's going to rain occasionally, but actually it is a phenomenal trip. The scenery is amazing, but it is well travelled now, so it was far busier than I thought it was going to be. But it was still a lovely trip, and I would thoroughly recommend it to anybody if you've not done it already. So today I'm going to miss the lockdown. I'm not going to ask how you all are because I'm sure you're all fine, tippity top, and you're just muddling through just like the rest of us. So today I'm going to put, let me start with that, because I think at some point this year they are going to release everybody and we are going to be able to get out on our bikes. I think it is time to put the official mount on. Now what I've normally been done, and I'll show you, is I've just been putting what they call the RAM mount on my handlebars and just been applying the GPS to that. But to be honest, that's a crap solution. And if you're going in the wrong direction, the sun hits it, and because it's at a slight angle, you don't get to see it. So actually, it's not a good solution. So what I did, about a year ago, I purchased the Triumph machined GPS mount kit. Now this is for a Triumph Trophy. This may genuinely fit many models, I don't know, but I know for the Trophy it's actually got a plug just behind here, and you can remove the plug and this kind of bolts into two machine parts that are there. So to be honest, once it's in properly, and I think that's where I'm going for. So I bought that on the basis that at some point this year I'm going to go touring. So without further ado, let's crack on, let's get this installed. Okay, I'm going to caveat this with how I normally caveat this, is I am not a trained professional, I am not a mechanic, I am just a guy that's got a manual, some tools, and the willingness to have a go and to learn as I go along. And I will show as much as I possibly can to give you the best idea of what's involved. But I'm not going to be in the garage with you, so you are going to make sure you need the tools before. Make sure you have the tools before you start. Make sure you have a manual before you start, and you've read that manual. So use this by all means to say, oh well, I think I can do that. But you must have a manual. Look at the manual, study what it is before you start. And if any part of that manual makes you nervous, if it's not explained in this video particularly well, get help. Don't get to the point where you've stripped the front of your motorbike off and you haven't got a clue how to put it together again, because that is going to cause you significant stress. Now I will always try and help you, but I don't monitor my YouTube channel that often. I'm not one of these guys that replies to every comment or anything else. Put the information out there, I will try and keep an eye on it, but it could be weeks before I answer any comments. So make sure you are able to do it before you start. With that caveat out of the way, let's crack on. So using an H5, we are going to remove the first panels. We'll start by loosening them off. Over here, so we're now just I should have a beautiful assistant. My beautiful assistant is sat down watching TV, so I'm going to be doing this one-handed. Probably not the best, but it is what it is. Okay, so just hold that in place while I put those. And it says, with an assistant supporting the windscreen, remove the two fixings and collect the plastic washers. Remove the windscreen and place it on a clean, soft surface. Collect the 6 rubber washers from the windscreen mounting. So I shall just click those. There you go. That's it. And I shall put it on a nice soft surface, which I refer to as the floor, but up on its end. So if anything's going to get scuffed, it's just going to be the bottom end. I'm not going to worry. And then remove the 6. Now they say, okay, there is one there. Okay, that's one there, and one there, 2, and there should be 6, all based around these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've got 2, so all the others have disintegrated. So I hope, so basically that will fit in there against that, and it does give you a kind of a little cover. 1 second. So you get a kind of framed piece. Let me see, you can get a framed piece in that. That sits around like that, beautiful. And then that goes in there, and it sits in. It looks like it was designed with the actual bike. There you go. So that's how it's going to work. But for some reason, they've put it so you have to take the front of the bike off to get that in. I suppose it's to stop it being removed by some unscrupulous person and stolen. But we will see. Let's start, because I know this separates these two from the front fascia, but hopefully this is the maximum that I'm going to have to do to get this installed. Of course that would be okay. Does this come out? Of course it doesn't come off. Have I left a bolt in? Have I left a bolt in? Of course it doesn't come. It does feel like it should though. Oh, take off. Okay, as suspected, you need to remove the front end of the bike. This is how Triumph engineers make their money. They don't make it simple, so there should be a way. You would think there would be a way of fitting that without removing the entirety of the bike, but no, you do have to remove this front end. Because you have to remove this front end, you've then got to remove, now let me just get my phone so you can see. You've then got to remove, is that enough? Oh, that's a rubbish one, isn't it? Let me just quickly improve things subtly. Right, okay, so let me just improve. Right, okay, so the good news is you've got to remove that, then you've got to remove those, then you've got to come over here and remove that, undo the battery, come through there, take those out, and then you can bring the fascia forward, and then you can fit the mount. Right, so the first thing you need to do is open up this secure box. So you're going to need the key, turn the ignition, open it. So that's it, let's just, there we go, now I can turn it off. Right, okay, so now with that open and remaining open, I can access the screws that take this lot out. There's your 12 volt down there, and on the other side of that you're going to have the connector. Okay, so turn our handlebars to one side. There you go. I'm just going to okay, I've sorted the light much better now. You can actually see something. So basically, once you get to the bottom of that, you release the 2 screws as I've done, and one of them was missing. Obviously, I shall put that back. You then disconnect the one there, and then you have a 12 volt socket there. That is also, so I can pull that back, and hopefully you can see that is just a almost like a bayonet connector. So we can just pull that off. There you go. Okay, so that's removed that part. Okay, so I have disconnected the battery. A lot of people I know don't, they just do what they want to do. But in this case, it says remove and disconnect the battery. I've disconnected the battery. At the end of the day, you know, when you're taking the front of the bike off and you're going through all the effort taking the front of the bike off, this is generally a 2-second job So why wouldn't you? It doesn't matter. But I have. So I've disconnected the battery, and I recommend you do as well. Okay, so the next stage, if we go there, is remove the windscreen, which we've done, remove the upper mirror covers, and remove the lower mirror covers. Okay, so the mirror covers, to get access to the mirror covers, you need to bring the mirror out and forward. It's just on a kind of a spring. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. So basically there's a connection to the back of the indicator light. So basically you're going to remove this, and you're going to remove that, and then you're going to remove this one up here. Unclip the back of the light. There. Being careful not to lose that, because it always comes. There you go. And then I can remove that. So remove that one. And then remove this one down here. Can I get my fat fingers in there? I can do. So once you've taken the clip from that side, you then come back down to this side where it is, and you can just see a bolt there. So that's the next one to be removed. And I should do these with Allen keys, and I will be the first to say, but do you know what, for the life of me I can't find one of them. But if you do these with Allen keys, it does make it A, faster, and B, a lot easier. So it's a lesson to us all there, is look after your tools. With the lens and the cover removed, we're then going to, it provides access to the bolt just below there. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there is a bolt there. So that's the next one to come out, and then that will allow us to take the bottom of the, let me just quickly put that down because I've loosened it. That will allow us to take this bottom cap off, and then that's the top and the bottom of the, oh, let me just quickly, there you go, that's the, put that over there. So that's allowed me to take the bottom and the top of the wing mirror off. So that's the lens, the cover, and the wing mirror done. So so we've removed the left hand infill, we've disconnected the battery, we've removed the windscreen, we've removed the upper and the lower case mirror, removed the 4 fixings securing the instrument panel. One, and then this one. Two, and then round to the other side for the other 2. So this should be, let's have a quick, right, so this is there. Okay. So basically you want to take the front of the fascia off and expose this bolt here. So you can see that one there. You want to get that one out so you can get access to that and take it out. So by undoing that one bolt, you're able to kind of leverage the bar up and then access where you need to access. So then it's just a case of making sure that you put the frame on the right way. I'm far too close. You need to put the frame on first because that's going to fit in, and once it's on, you're not going to be able to get that in there. And then just lift the bar up and basically do those 2 bolts up, and that's in place. That is my connection. I'll just get out your light. That's my connection. It's got 4. There you go. It's got 4 connectors at the back. And that is basically making sure that goes down. That is going to connect to here. And that is one. You can see why they do it, because what they don't want you to do is to be able to undo it without significant effort. So that's one. Okay guys, that is it. That is the bike back together. Screen is back on. As you can see, the sat nav is on. Looks nice. Certainly looks better than what it will be. I can now take this crap off. So it is on there properly. Looking forward to some more touring this year, and that should make it a lot easier. I wasn't able to, as I was hoping to. I was hoping to redirect or rewire that and kind of get that coming through the back and underneath somehow, and I just wasn't able to do it. So that's probably another job, to be honest, but for now it will do. I'll just make sure this doesn't interfere with the movement of the bars, and it can just hook into there and it comes on nicely. So that is what it looks like. I think it's come out quite well. I mean, go from the front, so you can see. Okay, so that is another project done. So cost-wise, what would that have cost you if you put it into a garage? Although a small piece of billet, that cost £50. Mate, it's nice, it's got a Triumph logo on it, and it is well made without a shadow of a doubt, but that is a 50 quid per item, and you would probably be expecting about £90 for Triumph to fit it. I think they're about £70 to £90 an hour, and I think that's about an hour's worth of work for them. It took me, if I wasn't recording, it would take me about an hour and a half, 2 hours, but it's my own time. I've got a full weekend. It's not really cost me that much, to be honest. So if you were to take it to a garage, I think it would be about £130. Do I think it a worthwhile upgrade? If, like me, you are using a RAM mount that keeps on flipping down and vibrating loose every 3 or 4 hours, then absolutely. This is a much, much better solution than that, and I would thoroughly recommend it. Is it difficult to do? No, it's a fairly easy job. All you need is a good set of Allen keys. If you've got a good set of Allen keys, it's fiddly, but you can do it. It doesn't take specialised tools, and it doesn't take specialised skills. Just work through it methodically. Look at your manual, just organise where you're working, keep it neat, keep it tidy, keep the bolts separate so you know what bolt came from what, and to be honest, you can't really go wrong. It looks a lot when you start taking the bike apart, but actually it's not that difficult. Would I recommend doing it? Absolutely, if you can. Save yourself a bit of money. You take it easy, you look after yourself. I'll see you on the road. I'm looking forward to some serious touring this year. I would love to do Wales, and I think I would like to do the North Coast 500 again, to be honest. But let's see what I can do. You take it easy, look after yourself, see you on the road. Bye bye.